Well, as you can see, we are out here in the garden. I'm going to plant several things today. I'm going to plant some beets, some carrots, some cabbage, some broccoli, and then I'm going to plant some flowers, some marigolds. This bed this year is going to be the cabbage and the broccoli, and I'm probably going to intersperse some radishes throughout there as well. Maybe even some marigolds, some basil, something of that nature. And then this bed over here is going to be tomatoes, but on the end there, we're going to have some cattle panels going over, which we'll put in tonight. We're going to have some cattle panels for green beans and for cucumbers. So in that end over there, I want to plant my beets. Dan wants lots of beets this year. He likes pickled beets. I'm not so partial to him, but he said he wants lots of beets this year. I also want to show you something. Take a look at my winter sown cabbage. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's going in the garden today. This was winter sown in March. And then I also want to show you my winter sown broccoli. It's looking pretty good. I've got some winter sown beets too that I'll be putting in the ground, but I'm going to mostly do seeds, which I have soaked for about an hour, hour and a half, just to give them a little boost on sprouting. If you haven't seen my winter sowing video, I will link to that. And these are the survivalgardenseeds.com variety that I got in the kit, one of the survival kits. It's grown really well in the container, and so we're going to see how it does out in the garden. Survivalgardenseeds.com has 3 different kits that you can purchase, and when you purchase the seeds in a kit, they are $1 per package. But if you use the code OurSufficientLife, when you check out, you'll get an extra 10% off. So every package in those kits will be 90 cents. So let's see how these grow this year. So I've never grown broccoli before. This year I'm going to put broccoli down the middle, cabbage on either side. I know they'll need a lot of space because last year when I grew cabbage, it got huge and took over everything. So, and I also want to put a net over it because last year the cabbage butterflies ravaged my cabbage and put a whole bunch of holes in it. So I'm going to also put a net over this, and I want the broccoli to be at the highest part of the net. Now I didn't want to waste space, so I went ahead and planted a few more of the beet seeds that I had left in between the cabbage and the broccoli, because those will be ready by the time the cabbage and broccoli are getting really, really big, so I can harvest those and not waste any space. So the next step here on these is going to be some hay to put around and keep that moisture in, and then I'm going to cover it with the netting that I need to keep the pests out. This netting that I'm going to put up is also going to really help these tender seedlings. They're having a shock right now being planted out in the garden, but this will shield them from the intense sun just to give them a little better chance to get established. Well, the sun is really intense today. I got my cabbage and broccoli planted. I got some beets planted, and I've got the netting over the cabbage and the broccoli so the cabbage moths, cabbage butterflies don't get at them. I might have to have Dan add some stick sort of supports going this way, but we'll see how it goes for now. The net is clipped on to the arches, so we'll see how that goes. I did plant some marigolds at the four corners of my cabbage and broccoli to help ward off some pests. You see I have some trimming up to do on the netting. I'll come back out here with a pair of scissors and trim that up. At the end of this bed, you see my beets. I've watered them in. I've covered them with hay so that the moisture stays in while they germinate. Once they germinate, I'll kind of try to get in there and find them and give them a little air space from the hay. And take a look at our onions that we planted a few weeks ago. They are really taking off, and they are loving having the hay around to keep the moisture in. But for now, it needs to be mowed terribly down here. So I'm gonna go get the mower and mow. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.